I've been working on being more present, to only focus on what's taking place right in front of me, in every moment after moment. Because that's the only thing that actually exists, right? This moment, right now, the one that just passed, and the future one that's currently happening. That's all there is. So we have to be present in order to fully engage with life. But I have notes. Sometimes I find myself perhaps too present in a moment, forgetting everything else entirely, not thinking about the consequences of my actions. It can feel so right in that moment, and I don't think things through. I'm so present, I become a complete dumbass. I'll do something impulsive and only actually think it through the following day, when I'm already marinating in it in its aftermath, sitting in an anxiety spiral of my own creation. I'll get a tattoo, and 5 hours later, I'll have a full-on mental breakdown and panic attack about how I can do something so permanent, so impulsively. And maybe, probably, that isn't the best example of what I'm trying to say. Because in the long run, a dumb tattoo on my withering outer shell of a body, it doesn't matter. I am not my body. I am whatever it is that made up the words I'm saying right now. I am this. I am this entire experience. But still, the lack of foresight into possible consequences, living too in the moment if that's even possible, can affect the future of things in a bigger, heavier way. And creating more problems for myself from doing things impulsively in the moment, it's fucked me over more times than I want to admit, but I do not learn. I'm pretty sure having retroactive regret of being too in the moment isn't what being present means, though. It's like I've taken the attempt a step too far, made it into something that almost feels dangerous, on edge, manic. I think attempting to be present can be counterproductive for an impulsive, often emotionally reactive person who doesn't consider the future because the future does not exist until I'm actually in it. That does sound a bit self-centered when I say it out loud. But isn't that what being present means? At least partly? The idea that only this exact moment in time is happening, and nothing else. And to understand this moment means that I have to try to not divide myself from it. I have to be aware of it with my entire being, without giving it a name. If I'm listening to music, and I think to myself, I am listening to music. No, I am not listening. As long as I'm naming a feeling or experience with, I am happy, or I am sad, or I am angry, or I am a piece of shit, I'm not actually understanding the feeling or the experience. I'm identifying it only by comparing it to something else, something I can remember. It's like my brain is working too hard, and to be present, I need to shut it off somehow, quiet it down. I need a focused, undivided mind. But whatever, that isn't even why I'm talking right now. I'm talking because I have a question I can't seem to find the answer to. How can I be present when photographs exist? I am someone who usually takes a lot of photos and videos. You either are this person or you know someone who is. I have accumulated thousands and thousands of little moments that just exist somewhere floating in the cloud or decaying in some dusty old hard drive under my bed. Most of these moments you never actually revisit. We want to do the impossible and preserve the present moment. Because it's special. Because you want to remember it. So you take it. And instantly it becomes a relic of the past. Image after image will have you catapulting from one corner of your memory to the other. But a memory of a memory is still you existing in the present moment, experiencing your brain thinking of a memory differently every time. You should not trust your brain. It only remembers what you want it to. So why am I taking photos? Doesn't that defeat the entire act of being present? What do I do with all of this? I don't know where to put it. And then there's the stuff that's only for me, the things I take just for myself. Who the fuck is that actually for? I don't plan on having children, so who the hell am I leaving all of this self-indulgent shit to? Who am I to make myself an artifact for some unfortunate future scavenger to find? This shit is not that interesting. The person it's most interesting to is me. Just me. And I can die at any time. And then where will this go? What happens to all of it? Because I am going to die one day. Everything here is temporary, including us. Especially us. And honestly, that thought is comforting to me. Everything ends, and reminding myself of that is sometimes all I need to calm down and go back to not giving a shit about anything. So why can't I let a moment be temporary? Why can't I let it pass in order to fully experience life for what it is? A fleeting blur. Any recreation of it is a foolish knockoff. A corpse of an experience from which life has vanished. Reliving a moment by watching yourself physically relive it, or seeing a still frame of what your eyes saw that one time, it doesn't compare. It doesn't compare to you standing there in that moment with all of its sounds and smells and the wind and the rain. It doesn't compare to what your body felt. A copied memory will never capture the essence, the intensity, or the concrete reality of that moment, because that moment is long gone. Wouldn't the best course of action be to have more moments like those, instead of just watching yourself watch life? But how can I be present when I have a near infinite catalog of who I was and who I thought I was? I want to be present. I do. I want to meditate every day and live with unrelenting mindfulness and have a flow state. Just existing. But trying to be present all the time means I need to rewire myself. Unlearn everything I know thus far about what I thought was important. Letting go of this weird need to document everything. A beautiful tree is still a beautiful tree, even if you're the only one to see it and then never talk about it or show it to anybody. No one has to remember every little detail, not even yourself. And so maybe being present means accepting that a beautiful moment must pass, because that's how time works, allowing another to follow, after another. I can find something fascinating in just about anything. I can space out looking at a pile of dirt, or trash, literal garbage, but I don't need to immortalize it or immortalize the experience of experiencing it. Maybe that detracts from the actual meaning and sacredness of you being alive and being aware that you're alive. Is that it? Being aware that you're aware? But not so aware that it's just you overthinking everything and spiraling out, but just aware enough that you can give something your complete attention. To engage with time. To integrate and dissolve into reality instead of separating yourself from it. To be so present that we forget the past. We forget the future. We let the now be all there is. We don't even stop to think, I am happy. We're just there. I think it's about finding that balance point, which is hard. At least it is for me. And no, I still don't know what to do with all this shit. I don't have some tidy little answer that I've arrived to after all of this insufferable monologue. The inner dialogue that's better off remaining inside. Maybe the real answer is actually letting go. Not of the photographs or videos themselves. You don't have to do some final sweep of everything you've ever taken a photo of. But maybe it's the idea of documenting that matters, not the documentation itself. Ignoring that incessant urge of pulling out your phone and adding one more photo to your album that already has like 12,000 photos in it. I'm working on having more moments where I forget that I even have a phone, or a camera, or anything that's attempting to capture a uncapturable feeling. When I forget those things exist. When I don't immortalize something because I'm too busy experiencing it. Moments when I feel alive without giving it a name. Those are the best moments. And maybe the feeling in those moments is what being present actually is. So anyway, I'm working on it.